Good morning, sports fans, and welcome to the iconic Fenway Park. My name is Lily McIntyre, and I'm Wasabi's digital content specialist. And I'm just here to say welcome to the Fenway Bowl.
Hi, guys. My name is Brooke Kwasny. I'm the Senior Manager of Growth Marketing at Wasabi Technologies. Lily and I and Tyler here, who will introduce you in just a moment, are so thrilled to bring you an exclusive look to everything happening at today's festivities. The energy here is electric. People are pouring in. It is pouring right behind us. We're super stoked about this weather. The teams are gearing up, and we're excited to have a really great day. And we are right in the heart of it all at Fenway Park.
Seriously, it is just incredible to have this iconic venue, Fenway Park, as our backdrop for the 2023 Bowl. The Bowl has quickly become a highlight of New England college football season, and it's really become a part of Boston's incredibly rich sports tradition as well. So funny in my script. Personal anecdote about being at Fenway is very cool. I personally love Fenway Park. My dad's from Boston. I grew up coming to Sox games here many a time, but I feel like the energy here is just even more electric and just different because it's football season now. So to those of you somehow still not in the know, this year's game features the Boston College Eagles versus the Southern Methodist University Mustangs. And my personal bias, let's go BC!
So I actually went to Boston University, so I'm pretty sure it is sacrilege to be rooting for the Boston College Eagles. So, and my mama is from Texas, so I'm going to have to say I'm rooting for the Mustangs today. But I will not hold it against you, Lily. But, we're not just here and excited for a football game. Wasabi's committed to living our values and doing the right thing as stewards of our community in Boston and abroad. Shout out to all of our team in EMEA and APAC. That's what we're doing here. And while we will be celebrating all of the unsung heroes of New England today, and that brings us to the Red Sox Foundation.
Yes, nice little transition there. So the Red Sox Foundation is dedicated to making a difference in the lives of children, veterans, families, and communities across New England, by providing health, education, and recreation opportunities. Through its commitment to public service and partnerships, the foundation has a significant impact on addressing inequalities and improving the quality of life in the region.
And with that in mind, I would like to officially acknowledge our first guest here. This is Tyler Petropolis. She's the Director of Development and Communications at the Red Sox Foundation. Tyler is a graduate of Harvard University with a degree in government and a minor in global health and health policy. She's also the Harvard women's lacrosse captain for 2 years. Tyler joined the Red Sox Foundation in 2012, and her career with the Red Sox started when she was an intern selling 50/50 raffle tickets.
Yes.
I also sold 50/50 raffle tickets when I was in college.
I love it.
It was my favorite little trick to getting to see a game for free.
Yeah.
It was a great hack.
Okay,
shout out to all of you kids going to school in Boston. Sign up to sell 50/50 raffle tickets. They do it at TD Garden too. And moved up to managing the foundation's direct service programming, and she's now the Director of Development and Communications and oversees the foundation's fundraising and marketing strategies. Tyler prides herself in her ability to tell the story of the Red Sox Foundation and to fundraise, as well as shed light on the philanthropic efforts of the Red Sox. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
We're so happy you're here. And I know that was just a lot of talking, so now we want to hear from you. So I know the Bowl hasn't even officially started yet, but how are you enjoying the experience so far? Like the energy? I don't know if you were at the Fan Fest earlier, but anything?
So it's obviously raining, which is par for the course, especially given all the rain we had during baseball season. So it wouldn't be a Fenway activity or a game without it. But no, the energy is awesome. Everyone's pouring in. The gates just open. And this is an amazing venue where it's more than just a ballpark. It's a 365-day venue. And I know that our team and the folks at Wasabi have been hard in just bringing this all together today. So we're really excited to be here.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So as a former college athlete, can you speak to how important sports are for students and specifically girls?
Yeah. So for me, sports and lacrosse in particular gave me so much growing up. It unlocked so many doors for me. It instilled a lot of confidence. It's where I was really shy in the classroom, but I stepped foot either on the cross country course or on the lacrosse field, and I just had it. And so for me, it just gave me so much in the way of growing my confidence and just being so present and really growing as a leader. And those skills have carried over to my professional life today and my personal life. And so this job, too, has given me so much. I'm so incredibly lucky to be part of the FSG and Boston Red Sox family. But sports just unlocks so many opportunities. And so the more that we can do to unlock those opportunities, especially for girls, as you mentioned, the more confidence we can instill, the more skills we can instill so that it can really be helpful for that long-term success.
Exactly. I think, the more women in sports, the better, because
Absolutely.
they thrive.
Absolutely. And at the Red Sox, we have so many women in those leadership positions paving the way for us. So just very, very lucky.
Fantastic. So I know we alluded a little bit to this before, and I'm kind of mad that I'm the only one here who hasn't participated in the 50-50 raffle, but tell us a little bit about the foundation's 50-50 raffle.
Yeah, so our 50-50 raffle, we're so excited to have it today. Half the money is raised today will go to one lucky fan, and the other half goes to our educational programming. So in line with the philanthropic mission of the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, today's proceeds will be benefiting the Red Sox Foundation's educational programming, which includes the Red Sox Scholars Program, which is our marquee educational program here at the foundation. We select 12 Boston Public School students in the 7th grade each year. We provide them not only with financial support, but also academic, professional, and social support, and so much more through mentorship. Our programs team is amazing. It's led by Lydia Zayas, who's actually a Red Sox Scholar alum herself. So really just building those leaders in the community so that we can build a better Boston and better community for the future.
That's so incredible. I love those full circle stories.
Yes.
We had the same thing. We went to an event for a foundation to be named later,
Yeah.
and so many of the
Yes.
alums of that program were also at the event. So it's really awesome to see those stories come to fruition.
Exactly. And fans in Massachusetts can buy the raffle tickets now at redsox.com/5050. So if you're not at the ballpark today, you can still play through the end of the third quarter.
You
Shameless
heard
plug.
it here, folks.
I had to do it.
I know.
My old
Gotta
sales
do it.
tactic.
we encourage it. So you talked about education, that being the forefront of everything that the Red Sox Foundation is doing. We also at the Wasabi Fenway Bowl are very supportive of education initiatives around New England. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Honor Roll initiative and Fenway Bowl?
Yeah. So again, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, a huge philanthropic mission, especially in the space of education. And the Honor Roll is an amazing opportunity where it actually honors and recognizes our educators. And so oftentimes the support goes to our students and to our communities, but we're so excited to take this platform of the Wasabi Fenway Bowl and use it to recognize those who are doing the work day in and day out, teaching in the classrooms. And without our teachers, education would not be possible. So the Wasabi Fenway Bowl Honor Roll recognizes 30 educators across New England. I know 3 of which I think are coming on to your show in a little bit here.
Stay tuned.
And so just really excited not only to give them that recognition, to be in front of Fenway, in front of the Boston community, but also to receive a grant to just help them and enable them to move forward with all that they're doing. And I know there's a committee that's made up of various people who vote on these educators, and so many nominations that pour in, but just excited to use this platform again to recognize those who are doing good in our community.
Beautiful. So I guess looking ahead beyond the Fenway Bowl, what's next for the Red Sox Foundation?
Yeah, so our Executive Vice President of Social Impact for the Boston Red Sox and Red Sox Foundation Executive Director, Becca Salwasser, she is incredible and has an amazing vision, along with our board of directors led by Tom Werner, our chairman. And so this year we have some really exciting and big things coming up. The Red Sox Hall of Fame and Fenway Honors returns. And so that is a fundraising event that we do every 2 years in combination with the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction. So Dustin Pedroia will be inducted alongside Papelbon and Trot Nixon. So it should be a pretty big event, really special opportunity to leverage this iconic and really special tradition at the Red Sox to not only raise awareness of what the foundation does, but also some good money, because that enables us to do all that we do in the community.
Right.
On the education side of things, I mentioned our Red Sox Scholars Program that is ongoing throughout the year, but we also have a really awesome education program called the Fenway Park Learning Lab. It's presented by Mass Mutual Foundation, and it actually is creating a tradition for BPS 6th graders to come into the ballpark and to leverage it as a lab and a learning tool. And so they go throughout various stops in partnership with Fenway Park Tours to really just take the unique aspects of the ballpark and learn something about math, science, language arts, whatever it may be.
That's
So
so
just
cool.
a really cool program that just continues to grow each and every year.
That's incredible. Wow, I'm so jealous. I feel like I was not doing
I'm
anything.
throwing
like
you
that.
lots of fun tidbits.
Yeah, you
I
are
know,
really.
I know. I also have to say, I'm kind of geeking out right now. I'm a huge Papelbon fan. Like that, like what I said before, I grew up going to a lot of these games. Not to flex, but I actually did catch one of his baseballs. I still
Amazing.
have
That's
it.
cool.
So
That's a
Jonathan
fun fact.
Papelbon, if you remember me, I'm here.
That's incredible. All right, our final question for you, Tyler, is: are you rooting for BC or SMU today?
Ooh, okay. Well, I think I got to go with Lily on this one. Even though I played against BC, I'm rooting for them. It's our hometown team, so I think I'm going to go with the Eagles today.
I know. I've got a hot take. I get it. All right. Well, before we let you go, we want to plug one more time: redsox.com/5050 if you want to donate through the third quarter. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
All right,
Correct.
perfect. Well, thank
Awesome.
you so much for
Thank you
joining
for
us today,
having me.
Tyler.
Thanks,
It's been
Appreciate
an
you
absolute
both.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so here's some context on our next guest. A few weeks ago, Wasabi offered Brockton High School a batch of 50 tickets, 50, to this year's bowl game. The tickets were claimed and went in a matter of minutes due to the excitement of attending and being recognized at this year's game. So another batch of 50 tickets was offered to Brockton High School, and those went out in a matter of minutes as well. So these ticket donations led to Brockton High School faculty members feeling like they were being seen in these challenging times. And Bernadette is here to talk a little bit more about that. We'll get her set up with the headset and everything. Looking
Can you
very
hear us
professional.
okay?
All right. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so here we have, this is Bernadette Sullivan, the assistant principal at Brockton High School. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you. So how excited are you and your coworkers of Brockton High to be here today at Wasabi Fenway Bowl?
We're very excited to be here and very thankful to Wasabi and Fenway and for giving us the opportunity.
It's really incredible. My roommate is actually is a teacher and is being recognized on the honor roll today.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, I just want to personally thank you for everything that you do
Oh.
in especially in a post-COVID world. Education is just key, and teachers and assistant principals such as yourself, like you guys are what make it all happen day in and day out. So with that in mind, what challenges has Brockton High faced in the post-COVID era?
Well, I think COVID changed everything in society.
Yes.
And certainly for kids everywhere, not just in Brockton, but nationwide, education was changed for them forever when they had that one thing that was always constant,
Right.
gone. Yep. I mean, you think back and like you start school in kindergarten, and that's the one thing you're going to do every day. You're going to get up and you're going to go to school. And that changed. And certainly I think it highlighted a lot of racial and economic disparities. And in Brockton, our kids, they didn't just lose education. A lot of our students lost family members.
Yeah.
It just really changed the course of everything. And, since being back, it's funny because I'm just over there we're talking about COVID, and I'm like, I know it's been like several years, but it doesn't feel like it. I feel like we're just sort of coming out of it. But, we have seen a rise in anxiety, social emotional needs, just a lot more in terms of mental health with kids. And in Brockton, we've had budget cuts. We've had a lot of challenging times. But we are still, I've been there 17 years. This is my 18th year, and there's no place I'd rather be. I love it.
Yeah, that's incredible. So obviously these challenges, they cropped up. They cropped up for everyone, like you're saying.
Yeah.
It affected the whole nation, whether you were working or a child or student going to school. How is it that you and your teachers were able to overcome some of those challenges? I have to imagine that you all had to really band together and become more of a team than you ever were.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're a very large school. We have nearly 4,000 kids
Oh my goodness.
in our school. And, we have about, between 300 and 400 faculty members. And so the only way to do it is as a team,
right.
And to support one another. And, the way I look at it is like we go there every day, and, 4,000 kids show up every day looking to us for something. And sometimes for kids, that's more than just classroom learning. Sometimes it's other things. And we all, as educators, have to wear many hats. And we do that. We do it together. That's really the simple answers, together as a team.
Yeah.
Boxers. Go Boxers.
Go Boxers. We love a plug.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I just have the utmost respect for teachers and educators, like literally shaping the minds of the future of our country, which is just incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So what does it mean for you and the fellow faculty that's here with you today at the bowl game to be recognized at the Fenway Bowl?
I think it's really awesome. I think I was I was an English teacher for 17 years. This is my first year as an assistant principal. I'm one of 4 in the building. Oh, thank you. But I think it feels awesome, and we thank Wasabi. We thank you guys for giving us this honor to be here. Like I said, there's 400 plus members of our entire staff, and so it's not often that we get to do something as a group.
Yeah.
And when I put this out there that these tickets were being offered, some people were saying like it was so good to feel seen. It was so good to feel like it was a really positive feeling. So I think it's awesome. We're very thankful.
Yeah, no, we were saying it just earlier that we are so excited to recognize the unsung heroes of New England today. We've got a couple of our honor roll finalists coming up after you, and it's really incredible
Really cool.
to hear the stories of all of these teachers and how they are navigating this new world of education. Like we said, in the post-COVID world, things are so different. We want to finish this off on, can you tell us what you would want the average person to know, what it's like about the Massachusetts public school system, and specifically Brockton High School? Like, what would you want people to know when they're thinking about, like we said, giving to the Red Sox 50-50 raffle right now? All of this goes to educators. They're being recognized. They're getting help in achieving what they're trying to do for their students. So what would you want people to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think as you've said a couple times, it's like education in the post-pandemic world is different. It's changed, I think, forever. But that doesn't mean it's a bad change. It means
Right.
it's new. It's and I think that Massachusetts is awesome. I think we were just ranked number 5 in the country
Right.
for public education. And Brockton, if you've never come to Brockton, I mean, what I want people to know is, like I said, we have 38 to 4,000 kids. And 3,800 to 4,000 kids, not 38.
I follow you.
And they are the most talented bunch of kids, from sports to art to music. Come to Brockton, see a show, see a game. They are incredible. They are resilient. They have overcome the challenges of the pandemic, and I think congratulations to the honor roll people who are coming up, and it's all great. I'll say it again. Go Boxers. Go
Boxers.
Love that. So we know you're rooting for the Boxers.
Yes. always.
But today, BC or SMU?
BC. I mean,
BC.
Good luck to everybody. And I want to say it's all, as long as everyone has fun. That's the mom line. But BC. BC. Gotta keep it close to home.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bernadette, for joining us.
so
This
much
has been
for
Bernadette
having me.
Sullivan.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, guys. So our next 3 guests that will be joining us are our honor roll finalists. So for those of you who don't know, along with hosting the game itself, one of the most rewarding parts of the Wasabi Fenway Bowl is the Fenway Bowl honor roll. So launched in 2020, the Fenway Bowl honor roll strives to acknowledge the outstanding, heroic, and determined efforts of educators, administrators, and support staff members across the New England area. Nominated by friends, family, coworkers, and students, these standout educators will receive a grant to further their mission of delivering the highest level of education.
So these 3 individuals chosen to be this year's Monster finalists have truly inspiring yet different educational journeys. Each finalist has a unique background that directly influences their teaching methodologies and how they connect with their students. So, with that being said, the first of our 3 Monster finalists this year are Jasmine Gonzalez, a 5th grade teacher at Hayden McFadden Elementary.
Hi, Jasmine. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for
joining
having
us.
me.
So, in her teaching, Jasmine likes to encourage self-confidence and the acceptance of making mistakes, Yes, I love this. Make mistakes all of the time.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Such a good learning opportunity. So Jasmine credits her cheerleading experience in leading her teaching style. With her cheerleading experience, she also started a cheer team and coaches it for her school.
That's awesome.
At Hayden McFadden, it's now the only school in New Bedford with a cheer team. So Jasmine began teaching and coaching at Hayden McFadden 8 years ago.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. So how have you been enjoying your time here at Fenway for the Wasabi Fenway Bowl?
It's been a blast, honestly. I love everybody here, the staff, everything. Everyone's so happy and welcoming.
That's awesome. You've been here a number of times for your recognition as being an honor roll
Yes,
member.
yes.
So that must be super exciting. I saw your interview for our docu-series. Shout out plugging our docu-series. Go check it out if you haven't already seen it. But it was really exciting to hear your story. I was there with you on Selection Sunday. I saw the Boston Globes series on you guys, and truly all of your stories brought me to tears.
Yeah, it's honestly been like an amazing experience overall. Like what you guys do here is absolutely incredible, just honoring educators. So I'm happy, I'm honored.
Yay! So for those of you who haven't watched the docuseries, another plug to check it out. So could you just tell us, Jasmine, a little bit about what this achievement of being on the honor roll means to you?
Yeah, honestly, it means the world to me. Just I am born and raised from New Bedford, so just to be able to recognize my home city and to be able to give back to my home city and just to kind of show everybody just how amazing like those students really are and my cheerleaders, just I don't know, it's honestly just indescribable. Just it's hard to really kind of think of the words, but I really am so honored, so incredibly honored.
We're so happy to have you and to recognize people just like you who deserve it. Like we've been saying it, we're going to keep saying it. I'm a broken record, unsung heroes of New England. Can you tell us a little bit about the cheerleading program at Hayden McFadden?
Yeah, of course. So when I was a first year teacher 8 years ago, first of all, I grew up dancing, cheering. So that's always kind of been an outlet for me in my life. So as a first year teacher, I remember just going to my principal and asking like if I could start a cheer team, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I joined forces with another coworker, and we decided to just kind of start a club. And I wasn't really sure how popular it was going to be, but we had an overwhelming number of students wanting to join. What was great about that is it was an opportunity for a lot of kids to join an organized sport, something that a lot of them have never done before. So we did a lot of fundraising. We were able to get uniforms for them and pom-poms, and then they started cheering at different, school events like staff, student, basketball game and things like that. And it's really just kind of took off since then. It's still going strong today. I have a lot of students from Haymack at the elementary level that now are cheering for me at the high school level from my first year teaching. So it's really just crazy kind of seeing everything come full circle.
Oh,
Okay,
that's so awesome.
That's amazing. I also just want to say we were talking with Tyler a few guests ago at this point, and she was saying how obviously teachers need to be wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Being a cheer coach is not in your job description. The fact that you just took that initiative and sat down and was like, I want to start this is really admirable. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
But I guess speaking of cheer, why, you talked a little bit about this before, but why are sports like cheerleading so important for kids?
I think it's just so important for kids to have something going on outside of school and outside of their personal life. Everybody needs an outlet. Everybody needs a safe space. So I feel like it was just important for me to start something that kids could feel like they can come here, they can be safe, they have friends, I just like to promote just like a safe environment for anyone that wants to cheer, just to escape from reality sometimes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
community is huge.
No,
Yes.
I remember that as a student myself. I was also a dancer, and just walking into the studio, you could totally just shed your
Yes.
identity as a student, no matter
Exactly.
how like frustrating school was. It was
Mhm.
like, I get to dance now.
Yes.
Yep.
So I totally get that. What is the most rewarding part of your job as both a teacher and a cheer coach?
That's a really amazing question. I would say probably what's most rewarding for me is just feeling like I make a difference or feeling like I matter. I do love the fact that I can wake up and actually enjoy going to work, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like oh, I gotta go to work today. No, it's exciting. Sometimes when I'm working, it doesn't feel like I'm working. So it's just honestly, it's just a blessing to have a job where I feel like fulfilled. It fulfills me. It teaches. I learn a lot from my students
Yeah.
as much as I feel like I'm teaching them. So it's really just
And like
Yeah.
you can see the difference before your eyes. You said you're seeing that the
just
girls
gonna
that you
say
taught it eight
Yeah.
years ago are all in high school cheering now, and that you started them on that path. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of girls at the high school level that started when they were younger. It's really crazy to see. Like they were like 8 and 9 years old. Now they're juniors in high school, sophomores in high school. It's crazy.
That
But
must be trippy to see. I gotta say. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding, both
Yeah.
with cheering and with teaching. I mean, I can't even imagine the difference of your students in not only their academics but social emotional
yeah,
between the beginning of the year and the end. So that just must be really fulfilling to see.
yeah, I've really kind of seen cheerleading be something that's been the most consistent in some kids' lives. You know, they might go through some ups and downs or some personal troubles, like you said, social emotionally, but cheerleading has always been something that can always like revert back to. And it's nice to see that a lot of kids stuck with it. Like you would think, you know, in third grade they joined cheerleading for fun, and then now they're in high school and it's something that they're still like pursuing and wanting to get better at. So I love to see that it's just something that's just remained consistent in their lives, and I love to still be a part of it.
Well, speaking of consistency, we've been asking this question to all of our guests here today.
Okay.
Who are you rooting for today, BC or SMU?
I'm probably rooting for, I would say, BC.
Go Eagles.
Those
Go
Eagles, they've
Eagles.
got 4 votes now with you,
Yes,
Lily.
if
Well,
you've
my
been
teacher
keeping
bestie is from there, so I felt like I just needed to root for them.
Yep,
So
I get it.
yeah,
personal connection is huge.
yes.
Well, that's all we have
Yeah,
for
thank
you
you
today,
so much for
Jasmine.
thank you
joining
so
us,
much for having
Jasmine.
me.
This
Have
was
so much
awesome.
fun watching the game.
And
I'm excited.
congratulations.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you. Jasmine. She's awesome. So up next, it's Robert Ackerman. Robert joined the Chenery Upper Elementary School staff in New Bedford, Massachusetts this year as a 5th grade math and science teacher. He took his new position at Chenery after starting as a special education teaching assistant at Lane School and eventually transitioning to a 4th grade teacher. Hello.
Hi, Robert. Thanks for joining us. Robert earned his Master's of Education in Special Education, Moderate Disabilities from Endicott College as a member of the class of 2021.
Yeah.
And during his time at Endicott, he was a social content creator like our friend Lily here. Rob is also a 4th degree black belt and karate instructor at Callahan's Karate
Which we
Studio.
talked about
Yeah.
before.
Rob uses his karate background to create an engaging and energetic classroom environment. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us, Rob.
Thank you for having me. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to hear it.
It is the crowds are pouring in at this point. We are so I don't actually quite know what time it is right now, but we're getting close to kickoff, and it's really exciting to be here.
I know.
This
it's
is
buzzing.
crazy.
It's
Like,
buzzing.
I've been to Fenway Park for like concerts and for Red Sox games, but it like transforms the entire ballpark, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you basically answered my first question for you. But we're aware that you're a Mass native, but I can imagine that it would be kind of weird being at Fenway for a football game and not a baseball game.
It's
right?
very
Yeah.
weird. We just walked out to see the field,
The field.
and both my mom and I were like, "Whoa, this is not what we're used to.
Yeah.
We're not used to like the goalpost at the end of the. We're used to like a infield dirt. You're used to like
Yeah.
seeing players warming up, throwing a ball back and forth, but now it's like pads, helmets,
Yeah.
a way different crowd, and
Yeah.
it's super cool though. It makes it a very unique experience for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. I know you've been to Fenway a number of times in the last couple of months since
Yeah.
you've been recognized as an honor roll finalist. Congratulations
Thank you.
again. So yeah, I have to imagine every time you come, it's looked a little different every time as
Yes.
we are getting the field looking ready for a football game. But can you tell us, what does being named a Wasabi Fenway Bowl finalist or honor roll finalist mean to you?
Being named a finalist really, like, I'm 25, and it really like helped me understand and give some confidence, like what I'm doing, what I'm thinking is right, and what I want to do later in life and like continue pursuing is on the right path. And this is like a big like affirmation to myself that like my mindset, my ideas are in the right place, and what I'm doing is having an impact, because it's sometimes really hard to tell because you're just in a classroom doing your teaching thing, and where it's a very like thankless job. So now like there's people that are like fully recognizing us for our efforts and for what we want to do and what we are doing every day. It's super cool and very rewarding, and I feel very appreciative and grateful for the experience, because like we do teaching for not the money and fame. We do it to make a difference, and we do it because we love it so much. And then having this experience really like confirms like, wow, what I'm doing is right, and what I'm doing is making a difference past the classroom that I teach inside of.
Well, you didn't need this recognition to know that you were making a difference,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it feels very good to be validated in all those decisions you're making. It is very clear that everything that you and all of the other teachers here today are doing is so impactful for the community.
Yeah, it must be cool, because I feel like as a teacher, it must feel like you're kind of, under this microscope. It's just you and your students in the classroom
Yes.
day in and day out. But like with the honor roll, I feel like it's a good chance to really zoom out
Yes.
and see the impact that you're actually having in real time. So I just want to say congratulations
Thank you.
again before moving on to a subject that we talked a little bit about before. So we understand that you are an impressive 4th degree black belt in addition to killing it as a teacher. Like, what can't you do? So how'd you get started in karate?
I started martial arts when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
My mother brought me there because my self-control and like self-awareness wasn't really the best.
Mine too.
The story kind of goes like she kind of like walks me into the karate school, like picks me up and puts me down and goes, please fix him. Because I was a little rambunctious, a 3-year-old. And I've stuck with it ever since. So I've been doing it for 22 years. I started teaching martial arts when I was 14 on the formal payroll. But before then, at around the age of like probably 11 or 12, I joined our leadership team. So I was able to like be a role model among my other peer students and help out with like smaller events like birthday parties, help out in classes, and just be like kind of like a role model student and a leader amongst the crowd, which really helped me kind of get the understanding of like, wow, what I can do can help others, and what I can do as loving martial arts can impact the lives of others, which is super cool to me and very rewarding. And having a little extra money on the side for it definitely helped like put that into the right mind. But it was really for like, oh, I like this karate thing and I like helping others, so it's a win-win for me. And then it was always just like my rock, my place to like be. The same instructors are still there today. They're my coworkers. They're my second family. I'm on my vacation right now, and I was there this week to go work out, to go see some of them, and just like it's a second family at home. When I was home for sometimes, there would be weeks where I would spend more time at the karate school working and teaching there than actually at home. It's a really like it's where I got my love for working with others and children, and also it's been my one activity. I tried soccer for a little bit, but it
Not
wasn't
your
for
thing.
me. Karate was always my thing. I've done like tournaments around the country. We've been able to host world champion martial artists at my school.
Wow.
I've gotten to meet some really, really impactful people in the martial arts community, and it's fully changed my life. Without martial arts, I'm not sure like who I'd be, where I'd be, because it's been a part of my life my entire life. Like it's who I am. It's like my personality almost.
That's awesome. I totally get that. I was a ballerina for like 16 years,
Yeah.
and everyone always asked, they're like, "Oh, you like must have played soccer at some point, like Pee-wees," because I feel like that was ubiquitous with
Right.
everyone. And I was like, no, I cannot run. I do not do cardio. I did my one thing and I stuck to it.
When I did soccer, I liked playing goalie because I didn't want to run.
Yep.
I get
And
that. I
then
feel that.
The team I was on was pretty okay, so I get the credit for winning, even though I did literally nothing because I had a great defense. So I literally just sat there. I would be the mime in the box sometimes because I was like,
That's awesome.
I'm just bored here. And then I'd have karate later that day, and it'd be so much more fun because like I'm really in a very tight knit community there. It's a family owned business, and it's like honestly life changing. That's all I can say. Like, it changed my life, and it's been like the best place that I could ever like be a part of.
That's awesome. Clearly, the karate is a constant for your life.
Yes.
How do you think all of that karate has influenced your teaching style in the classroom?
In the classroom,
as well as in is it the dojo?
We call it the studio.
The studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
But karate for me and like teaching really like go hand in hand, because with martial arts we always talk about like respect, discipline, self-control, all those like key ideas of like how to be a good proper human, not just like a student but like a human.
Right.
In the video about me, we talked about like respect and how karate begins and ends with respect. It's our first rule, it's our number one rule, and that's the same thing in the classroom. Like I tell them the first day, like I'm going to respect all my students, and I expect the same back from you. I know it sometimes has to be earned though, because not all students walk in, they see a teacher and be like, oh yeah, I'll be friends with you. You sometimes you have to work a little bit harder to try and earn that respect. So like through karate, one of the things they always taught me was like you want to build rapport and you want to build that connection with students. So from the day one with students, we don't ask them like, oh, why do you want to like come to karate? We ask them like, oh, how's your weekend? Like we ask like these very baseline questions just to get them to feel more comfortable. And that taught me like in order to make an impact, you have to build a connection. And without those connections, like it's impossible to get anything done. We have students at the karate school that hate karate. Come think like even though their parents are paying for them to be there, they hate it. But they deep down know like, oh, it's helping. They know it's making a difference and it's giving them a sense of belonging, which is huge to us because over the long term of martial arts, because you don't get your black belt in a week. It takes many years.
Right.
So it's a long-term process that really helps them. And you have to kind of like see the journey through. We always say like, trust the process.
Yep.
Because we have some parents that don't see it. They have some parents that like don't see an impact, don't see a result in 4 months.
Yeah.
And we're like, trust the process. It takes some time, but over time you're going to see that impact and you're going to be so thankful in the end.
Yep. And it's the same deal with teaching. Again, the respect goes both ways.
Yes.
And seeing, I guess, progress with that, whether it's, academic or social, emotional,
Yes.
that can take time too. And
Totally.
so, again, kudos to you for being patient and sticking with these kids and supporting them because that's important and it'll like set the standard for them when they grow up.
There was a student I had last year who every morning I would say good morning to her and she would just walk right by me. And it was not until like June of the last month of school did she start to like stop and be like, oh my God, hi. My weekend buddy would start talking to me.
Like,
but
yes.
like I was persistent. Every morning I would stand there and be like, good morning, how are you? And she would sometimes like give a little smile or just kind of walk past me. But over like that time, I think she recognized like, wow, he really is trying and he really is wanting to talk with me and like build that connection. And it made an impact.
That's fantastic. So my next question, you said that you're a fourth degree black belt?
4th degree black belt, correct.
Okay. So with that in mind, could you take Karate Kid's Daniel LaRusso in a fight?
Well, see, we always talk about like kindness and like
Respect.
being respectful. I will say he is a very skilled fighter.
Okay.
I did binge watch all of Cobra Kai.
Sure.
I actually watched a couple seasons in like a sitting.
Yep.
Because
As we all do.
it was
We've been there.
it was
No
a
judgment.
complete
No
obsession.
judgment.
We'd go the next day at karate and like talk all about it. I'm gonna have to say no.
No.
I think he's
Very
got
humble of
a
you.
little extra edge and a little extra training that I don't typically do. We don't do lots
Do you
of
teach the wax on, wax off?
like in a very joking way.
Yep. Yep.
But it is actually all the stuff we talk about in the movie is legit.
Yeah.
Kind of that wax on, wax off motion is legit. The
Wow.
kind of paint the fence, it's all legit stuff. It's not malarkey. It definitely puts it in more of like a
More
comedic.
you know. Yeah.
It definitely puts it in more of a comedic spin for the audience, but like we also nerd out about watching that movie because it's legit.
Awesome.
There's some good fight scenes that like actually make sense. We watch like action movies and we're like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But Karate Kid, it's good. Daniel LaRusso though, I think he's got a
the
leg
edge.
up on me and a little bit more experience. And Mr. Miyagi, you can't beat him. He's
True.
got that extra touch and that extra little skill and background that I don't got.
Well,
I respect the
think
honesty.
You're being humble. I think you're being humble. That's just my opinion, though.
All right, we're going to transition back to teaching. What is the most rewarding part of being a teacher at the Chenery Upper Elementary School? Excuse me.
It's okay. It was the middle school last year, and now it's transformed into upper elementary school. So
You
it's
tricked me.
it's a big like transitional year. But I think one of the most rewarding experiences being there and being a part of a new community and having a new role this year. It allows me to kind of really rethink my priorities and rethink like what I want to do to make a difference there. Because at my last school in Bedford, it's my hometown school. Everyone kind of knew me, and it was a very familiar environment. So I think now one of the more rewarding experiences is being able to be the same person that I am in a new community, but still see the same kind of impact and effect. But just have to know like it takes a little bit more extra effort, but that extra effort goes a long way with everyone because all the new staff are recognizing and seeing the difference. And I have teachers stopping me all the time like, wow, that was so cool. Where'd you think of that? I'm like, I don't know, it's just me. Like I just do what I do. Every morning, outside my classroom, I put like a dad joke up.
Yep.
And
Classic.
teachers all the time like, where do you think of these? And I'm like, actually, funny story. I bought my dad a calendar of dad jokes, and I get a text from him every morning with a new dad joke. And they're like, oh my God, that's so funny. And it just like creates a more positive, happy environment. And it's allowed me to kind of just really become a more confident teacher. And I'm new to the game, and being at the Chenery, it's a larger school. There's more kids to get to know, and it's kind of been fun to get to know all these new people and have a new experience.
Yeah. It really seems like you and all of these other teachers and educators on the honor roll, like born to teach, and that's really admirable.
We joke it's like, oh, it's a calling, but like it kind of
is.
You have to really want it. Like you can't like just be like, oh, I'll go teach.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something you want to go do. Like other more like business like jobs, you can kind of bounce around, try different things. With teaching, like you're committed. It's not just like a walk-on job. It's something that like you have to like have a passion for, and it's something that you really have to think about, and not just be like, oh, whatever, I'll go try it.
1000%. So with that in mind, how is your class doing this year?
We're doing okay. It like everyone talks about like the post-COVID slump, post-COVID this, that, the other thing. The thing that I've been most focused on is about that social emotional connection and that like inter-peer relationships. What I've learned very quickly at the Chenery is it's an upper elementary school where 4 elementary schools are now colliding. So they have a lot of these students aren't used to a bigger environment. Each other, yes. So on the first day of school, we're talking about like, oh, where did everyone go to school? Because they're all from these different elementary schools. So I think it's been really kind of fun and exciting to make them kind of see them make new friends. I was talking with a student before break, and he was like, yeah, I'm kind of getting a little sick of my old friends, but I've found new friends, and I've really enjoyed it. Because at the very small elementary school where there's about 100 students per grade, they don't get chances to meet new people.
Right.
Whereas at this school, there's so many people to meet that they can find these new experiences and find these new memories to create. Similarly, there's a student that...
You've got some excited fans behind us right now.
Similarly, there's a student that has kind of fly under the radar a little bit, but she's almost like flourished because with there being more students, there's less pressure on her to always be seen and noticed. Whereas at a larger school, it's easier to kind of like fly under the radar and kind of just become comfortable over time.
Yeah.
Right. So circling back to today, we've been asking everybody this. We want to get your opinion too. Are you rooting for BC or SMU today?
Is that even a question? Like
I have to ask.
I think it's an obvious answer. Being a Mass native.
Brooke's mom is from
You
Texas.
went to Endicott College. I went to Boston University. I like legally cannot root for BC.
Yep.
Endicott is a D3 school. So
I mean, BU didn't have a football team, so I don't really know why I've got like a dog in this game. I don't, but I feel like
I am fully for BC.
Fully for BC.
I think Texas is a little out of their league here.
I mean, this rain, I am curious how that's going to impact them.
BC players are built different because they're used to this weather. This is just another normal, what are we, Wednesday? Thursday?
Yeah, that's what happens.
It's on vacation.
Christmas and New Year's.
It's this blob of a week. No one knows what day it is.
We have an extra edge on them. We're used to this.
Yeah, this is true.
For them, they're used to the hot, dry weather. Yeah. This is the complete opposite.
Well, it's not quite dry in Texas, but no, but I agree with you. This weather, it's something else today.
For sure. Well,
all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yes,
enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have fun at the game.
Thank you.
All right. Our final guest today we have up next is David Cuddington. When he started at Norton High School as a custodian, David, or Pops, as they lovingly call him, took the time to learn every single student's name. He then became a teacher and a coach for Unified Sports, and he puts a real emphasis on sportsmanship. David, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm very well, thanks. How about yourself?
Oh, I love your jacket. Coach Pops for all of these, if you guys can see it. That's awesome.
Plus some bling.
Oh,
state
Bling.
championship
Oh,
bling.
Oh, there we
Yep.
go. We're repping.
Oh, we both have rings on today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Also, should we call you David or can we call you Pops?
You can call me whatever you like, Pops or David's
I'll call
fine.
you Pops.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
Pops. Sweet. All right. So, Pops, is it a surreal experience being at Fenway today?
It is. It was really, as a coach, it was really impactful for me. The day we were up here for our interviews, to be down in the dugout, and all the history associated with this ballpark. Then some personal memories associated with it as well. It's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I can imagine.
It's really incredible. So you've talked about, I've seen some of your previous interviews, like the one in the dugout. I think our buddy Sean, producer, shout out Sean, has also interviewed you for some docu-series. I think you talked about music being a really important part of your classroom. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I love having music in the classroom. I also use that to connect with students a lot. Music has been a huge part of my life, and particularly as an adolescent, I ran into American punk rock back in the day, and that changed my take on do-it-yourself ideas, on the way society looks at different politics, all sorts of different issues, and I see a lot of similarities between hip hop, kind of being a do-it-yourself type music, similar to punk rock, and so it provides me an opportunity to reach out to students and establish some communication. And music's really an international language in my travels in Europe and Central South America as well. Music's been a way to relate to people without necessarily speaking a common language.
Right.
Totally agree.
That's awesome.
All of our previous guests have, which I know you do as well, connections to sports. And I am not the most athletic person, which is very kind of obvious once you see me like run, I feel like. But I love music. I'm a musician. So
Okay.
yeah. And it's, even when I was, a little girl, it's something that's always been a constant and something that's really important in my life. So
Right.
Huge
Huge thing for me as well.
That's amazing that that you're into it too. So I want to circle back though. Obviously, we've talked about this with a couple of our previous guests, how there's kind of been this transition, a learning curve from going back to, I guess, this new normal and kind of post-COVID. So why specifically would you say are teachers so important right now?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I didn't realize as a young person how important my teachers were to me until I was out of the building. And I was able to learn a few languages by ear, that thanks to my Latin teacher, Miss Bowie. My experiences personally with teachers were very impactful, even though my school experience wasn't always great back in the day. Now, I think coming out of a pandemic with the dramatic divisions in our society, I think teachers have a few different roles now to look at, maybe than they did back in the day, where we're really fulfilling in some cases the role of a counselor. In some cases, you're touching on almost parental ideas with some of the students. Really trying to help young people find a direction forward after what, in many cases, for the young people in this country, was a really traumatic experience as well educationally.
Absolutely.
So it's exciting for me to be part of the teacher cadre now and to try to help kids move forward and find their direction and get our society back on track.
Fantastic outlook.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about with Jasmine and Rob as well that teachers are wearing so many hats, like you said today. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And the kids at Norton call you Pops. How important is it?
See, sorry.
How important is it for kids to have consistent role models like yourself?
Again, as a younger man, I didn't understand that until I was out of the building. It's very important. That nickname comes from my son. That's what my son calls me. The soccer team overheard my son speaking to me or addressing me as Pops up at a camp 12, 13 years ago. And that nickname has stuck with me in the building. I try to be welcoming and friendly and open to anybody in the school, and really, let them know they have a place there. They've got at least somebody there to talk to.
Right.
And I think consistent adult role models are really important, especially now, again, in that post-pandemic environment as we try to move forward.
That's great. Yeah, we mentioned that you know every student's name.
I don't know if I know every student's name.
How
I did know
large
a lot.
is Norton though?
We
for
have
some
a student body
context?
about 650 kids.
That's a lot of names.
And when I first came in the building, I was in the building as a custodian initially. And that being on the door kind of really gave me a way to greet the kids, start their day off with a friendly face and get to know them.
You're on the inside.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And then when I started teaching, it was a great situation for me personally because I had about 40% of my kids in every class the first year that I already knew. I knew a name, I knew a face, I knew something about what they did outside of the building.
Yeah, that must have made the transition maybe a little less jarring.
It was very helpful.
That's amazing.
Very helpful.
That's
To have an initial rapport already established was pretty amazing.
Fantastic. So my next question, you've alluded to service.
Yes.
So why has service been so important in your life?
So I was raised in a very religious household back in the day, and as I lost the faith, what stuck with me was that idea of serving my fellow human beings. And I've been lucky to be able to work with a wide variety of different people. I've seen that out in our homeless populations out on our street, we have a lot of American heroes, our military veterans, people who've had a small slip up that's changed their lives.
Yeah.
With our immigrant population expanding and coming in and helping us stay vital as a country. Speaking a couple languages has helped me orient some of those folks and again, be that friendly face.
In and out of school.
In and out of school, exactly. Service is one of those things I think that our country really needs to take a good look at, and we need to get back involved in getting back involved with each other, right? And reconnecting our communities, reconnecting regardless of party, race, religion, the different ideas across our society. Get this country back together, start working back together and pulling in the same direction.
I absolutely agree. I was in a community service fraternity in college.
Oh,
Shout
wow.
out
Okay.
to my Alpha Phi Omega brothers.
Okay.
I 100% agree. It completely changed my college experience. It got me out of what we called the BU bubble. I went to Boston University, and it forced me to leave campus and go see what was happening in Boston.
Right.
It's really eye-opening, and it's so humbling to be a part of.
It is. There's all kinds of need out there.
Yeah.
Right. And when you can step up to the plate in your own way, provide some help, some service, some uplifting in that moment when someone needs it, it can be a powerful thing. I think.
Absolutely. What is the most proud experience or moment you've had in your teaching career so far?
So I was thinking about these questions and thinking about that moment in particular. And one of the moments last year, we have Senior Day where seniors are not obligated to come in.
Yeah.
And all but one of my seniors showed back up on the days they didn't have to be there to hang out and do one more day of work on some of the projects we were working on outside. And that to me let me know that the connections that I was hoping to make had actually gotten made. And they came in that last day. We had a fun, great last day working on those projects and sent them off out into the world on a positive note. And I'm still in touch with some of those kids as well.
That's incredible.
Okay, let me just tell you.
Excuse me.
No, of course. When I was in high school, senior skip day, I still went on senior skip day because I was kind of a goody two shoes like that. But it's especially when you're young, waking up early. You would think that you would want that extra day to just like sleep in or do nothing. So
Right.
that I've said it once, I've said it before. The proof's in the pudding. Like you've made an impact, and that's incredible.
That connection was there. Back in my day, Senior Skip Day was a much larger day or series of days. Those of you from my high school career might remember that. But yeah, that was a sign that the bridges I'd been trying to build, that connection I tried to make with the students had succeeded. and I had the ball rolling in the direction that I'm hoping to keep it rolling.
Good for you, Pops.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we've asked this to every guest that we've had on our live stream today. So we're going to
Okay.
ask you, who are you rooting for today, BC or SMU?
So SMU's coming off of a great season. They're a strong team. I know they had New Year's Day hopes for their bowl game, and they're up here at Fenway. Dallas, as a Southern boy, Dallas is close to my heart, but it's not
Heck
as
yeah!
close. But it's not as close
Oh.
as BC is.
Oh, Pops,
And
you really got me there.
BC was struggling the last part of their season, but I have a feeling that they're going to step up today. We're in Boston.
Oh,
I
was
would
a
be a
tease.
fool
That
with
was
our
a
Pops
last
with the bait and switch.
Yep.
with our last 20 years of Boston sports. I'm expecting to see BC step up and really put a hurting
It
on
sounds like SMU is
or
making
really
their
try.
way onto the field
Oh.
right now. Can anyone else
There
hear
we
the
go.
booze?
Now, are you a Southern girl?
I'm from Arizona, but
Oh,
my
okay.
mom is from Texas,
Okay,
and I went
gotcha.
to BU, so I'm not sure that I'm allowed
You're like a
to
child of
root
divorce.
for
Right.
Boston College.
Right.
I think the BU powers that be would be quite disappointed in me.
I've got to stick with BC today
All right, I
Against
respect
all
it.
odds.
I respect
Yes.
it.
Yes.
against all odds.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Pops. It was such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you all for
Awesome.
having me.
We
Thank
hope
you
you
all.
enjoy the day.
And
Congrats
likewise,
again.
and thank you all very much. And we'll look forward to seeing you post game. And
Yeah.
thanks for your interview.
Yeah,
all
of
your
course.
work.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Pops.
Take care
you.
now.
Thanks.
All right, so that was the last of our interviews. So as we conclude the live stream of the 2023 Wasabi Fenway Bowl, we just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today at Fenway Park for this amazing event. From the thrilling plays on the field to the inspiring stories off of it, today has been a celebration of sportsmanship, community, and the enduring spirit of competition.
We hope you stay safe, stay inspired, and until next time, keep the spirit of the game alive and well in your hearts. Goodbye for now, and remember, the love of the game is what is bringing us together no matter where we are. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Go BC.